4x4. How's it going, everybody? Major 4x4 here to bring you more Please Wake Up. Now we're going to continue on the level 2. I liked it, and it looked like y'all liked it too, so we're just going to go ahead and just pop right in.
Perception is really a
danger.
funny thing.
Okay, good map.
I think most people take for granted the idea that what we consciously perceive is actually an accurate snapshot of reality.
Crappy window.
Most people seem to think that our perception is just a window into the world around us.
I can't remember what the sound is, but anyways.
What do you mean by that?
2 beds with brown sheets.
Well, it's pretty clear to tell that we don't always consciously perceive everything that our brain receives as input. Right?
Gray ceiling.
If you did, you'd be able to see the blood vessels inside your eyes, and you would always feel your heart
with
beating.
Long, lights.
But we don't. Our brain selectively attends to certain aspects of our perception.
Sure, but it's still a form of reality. Perhaps just a snippet of it, right?
That doesn't seem to be the case either.
Oh, okay.
I think one of the most clear ways to show that is through illusions. Illusions show us how the brain alters our reality. Since this is a radio show, I can't really show any optical illusions to your listeners. Instead, I'll be demonstrating an auditory one. I want you to listen to the following clip, and I want you to tell me
the window's
if
still
you
good.
understand
That's still good.
anything.
That's still good.
I didn't understand a word. It just sounds like static noise to me.
Here, let me play it again.
Okay.
Yeah, no, sorry, still nothing.
Now I'm going to play another clip.
The juice of lemons makes fine punch.
You understand that one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it says the juice of lemons makes fine punch.
Okay, now I'm going to play back the original clip, and I want you to tell me if you understand what it says.
What?
Now.
No! Oh, I bet I clicked the wall. Yeah, I clicked the wall instead of the... oh my god, what the hell are you doing here? Yep. It needs to be a table.
Saying the same thing.
Exactly. I played you the same exact clip that you heard the first time. The sensory inputs to your brain were identical.
Right.
Yet, after hearing the unaltered version of the audio, you could understand the garbled one. This shows us that your brain is actually filling in pieces of your reality. You're not directly experiencing the sensory inputs to your brain. You're experiencing your brain's interpretation of those inputs. In other words, your brain is creating or hallucinating your conscious perception.
I want to click on the floor because I think it's different.
Really unhear the words when I play the clip now. You have no control over this hallucination.
I do. I want to click on the floor because I'm afraid to.
That seems to be more related to psychedelics and drugs like LSD. Clearly, those hallucinations are different from hallucinations.
Little piece of me knew it probably wasn't nothing wrong.
No, LSD is actually pretty different from how it's portrayed in the movies. People who have taken LSD say that it doesn't really give you hallucinations. Instead, it shows that real life is the hallucination. Some users say that LSD gives them a better glimpse at true reality than the constrained and filtered reality that our brain
There's something
constructs.
missing or something wrong. Okay, there's that.
If hallucination is uncontrolled perception, then
I was gonna say.
normal perception is also just a more controlled hallucination.
This sounds like hippie science to me.
Okay.
Well, what I really mean by hallucination is that our perception is more constructed by our brain than it is a direct product of our senses.
So far, so good.
All of this research points to the fact that we don't live in the world. We live in our heads. The world we perceive is constructed by our brain. It's not necessarily representative of what is out there.
What the hell?
Perhaps I'm not the best at explaining
there we
it.
go.
So I'll read you a quote from one of my colleagues, Professor Anil Seth from the University of Sussex. He said, "We don't just passively receive the world, we actively generate it. The world we experience comes as much, if not more, from the inside out as from the outside in. We are all hallucinating all the time. When we agree on hallucinations, we call that reality.
That's a good quote. Maybe we should be interviewing him instead. So our perception of the outside world isn't actually
That
real.
look like it's
We
kind of
can't
weird.
fully
I don't
trust it,
think.
as shown by illusions, as you've shown.
I was gonna say,
Does
I don't
that
think I
mean
remember that.
everything we perceive could just be sensations that our brain is making up?
Yeah, exactly.
That.
And there's a very clear precedent for that. Dreaming.
Okay.
While in a dream, most of us aren't aware of the fact that we're dreaming. We're perceiving sensations that our brains are just creating on the fly.
Good.
And we simply accept that it is reality, even if it's completely nonsensical and incoherent.
Okay.
Dreams show us how our brains can fool our conscious minds.
Oh, carpet.
But how is that possible? It seems strange to suggest that our brains can render entire scenes in our heads.
Cool,
that's the thing.
We're good.
It doesn't have to be. Our brains have what's called selective attention. That means we hardly notice things that we're not focusing on. Here's a simple way to demonstrate this. Close your eyes.
Okay.
You walked into my office and sat down in that chair just a few minutes ago, correct?
All right, come on.
Okay. So, what color is the chair you're currently sitting in?
I think it was black.
Mm-hmm. And is the floor carpeted or hard?
I'm pretty sure it was carpeted.
Good. Okay. What color is the carpet?
Come on.
Gray.
And did the carpet have any sort of pattern on it?
This.
I have absolutely no idea.
Okay, you can open
the
your
door's
eyes
fine.
now.
But the door was kind of weird. Nope.
Okay.
And
So the floor is carpeted, but my chair is actually blue, and the carpet has a checkerboard pattern that is slightly.
Yeah. Getting 1 out of 4
every time I try to
questions
click on the
correct
chair
isn't
where it
bad,
has
but
an in between,
isn't it strange?
I want to die.
You walked in the room and
we're good.
saw the floor,
Okay.
but didn't really
Chair.
notice its pattern or color. You sat in the chair and also didn't notice the color. If I changed the color of your chair or your carpet when your eyes were closed, would you have noticed? What about the color of my desk or the items on it with their
wall,
positions?
thing,
Probably not.
door,
Here's
wall,
another example for the listeners at home. You've probably seen the Google logo countless times. Can you tell me what color the letter E is in the logo?
Oh, come on.
And what about the color of the second G? If they were to swap colors one day, would you notice?
Floor.
Well, I have seen the logo many times.
Looked like the
but
floor
can't
was
seem
different. I'm
to
sorry.
recall the answer to those
Chair. Wanted to make sure I hit the chair that time. Toilet.
Exactly. And that's how your brain gets away with it. It doesn't have to render your entire world inside your head.
Wall.
It just needs to hallucinate a tiny sliver you actually pay attention to. Everything else around you could be constantly changing, and you wouldn't even notice.
So then, how do we know if we are actually experiencing it? How do we know if we're
this.
Well, for one, it's impossible to truly know whether what you are perceiving is actually
I thought the chair was different.
For example, you could just be a brain in a jar that's being fed neural inputs.
Bed.
And if the inputs I'm feeding your neurons are the same as what they'd be receiving in a real world, it would be impossible for you to tell the difference.
Okay, that's fine.
Like in the film, The Matrix.
That thing. Oh, that.
I guess there's nothing we can do about
saw.
But what about dreaming?
There is something
again.
called lucid dreaming,
That
in
sign.
which people try to be aware while they are dreaming. It generally involves closely inspecting reality. For example, lucid dreamers say that in a dream, they're able to pinch their nose but still breathe through it. Or that they're unable to closely inspect themselves in a mirror. However, recent research has shown that this is only possible under certain conditions. I'm not going to dive into the details here, but there are different phases of sleep, and during different phases you experience different types of dreams. Some dreams are almost completely indistinguishable from reality, although we tend to forget them when we wake.
And breaking news coming out of Torrey County, Wyoming.
Come on.
Along with the previously mentioned 12-year-old Timothy McCullough, police are now also looking for a 13-year-old child named Thomas Mandela, last seen at Torrey County Middle School. Authorities believe that the cases are related and that 37-year-old John McCullough may be behind both abductions. Both children are believed to be in danger.
radiator.
Any information,
that's
please
fine.
Call 911.
That's
Now
fine.
back
That's
to your
fine.
regularly
That
scheduled
picture's
program.
not. Toilet's not.
There's a story from the
voltage
3rd
is
century
not.
BC Chinese philosopher
That's
Zhuang
fine, that's
Zhao
fine.
that
That's
illustrates
not.
the nature of dreams and realities.
Okay.
I dreamt I was a butterfly,
Oh, ceiling.
flitting around in the sky.
Okay.
Then I awoke.
Oh,
Now
just
I
now
wonder,
noticed that too.
am I a man
That.
dreamt of being a butterfly?
Toilets.
Or am I a butterfly
That.
dreaming that I am a man?
That. A wall. Oh, got it. Ooh. Girls. All right. We got that one. We got that one, which is awesome. So glad we got that one. Yes. My memory's not shitty after all. Actually, it probably still is. But anyways. All right, we're going to go ahead and pop into level 3. Hell, let's keep it going. Let's keep it going.
We've learned a lot from epilepsy surgeries.
So,
During an epileptic seizure, bursts of electrical activity spread throughout the brain.
tiles,
In extreme
white wall,
cases, surgery is done to
desk,
stop this spread by cutting out or
locker,
isolating
bed,
certain parts
round
and
door
pathways
with
in the
two
brain.
things.
One of the most
light,
well-known examples of such cases is of a
green
man we
ceiling,
call H.M.
Blood on the wall.
The surgeons had cut out his hippocampus in an attempt to reduce
gray
his
door,
epileptic
double
seizures.
door.
They were successful
There's a
at getting
can
rid
on
of his
top of this,
seizures, but
3
there was a
layers,
severe side effect.
Gray door,
He was
everything,
unable to
and all
form
these have
any new
brown tiles.
memories. This case is why
With
we
gray
now know
floor
that the
and a
hippocampus
recliner.
is
Okay.
used for the consolidation and
go.
creation of memory. Another way this used to be done was by severing what's called the corpus callosum. This part of the brain connects the brain's left and right hemispheres. We call those who underwent this process split brain patients.
And this can also reduce epileptic seizures.
It does in some cases, and at first glance it doesn't even seem to have any obvious side effects. If you ask the patients if they feel any different, they would say that they don't. On most cognitive tests, they have similar performance. In fact, some even increased in IQ. They could go about their normal lives with no easily discernible differences. Their personalities and emotions were also the same. But upon closer inspection, done by Roger Sperry and Michael Gazzaniga in the 1960s, patients who underwent this procedure displayed some curious behavior.
What types of behaviors?
You know how they say that the right side of your brain controls the left side of your body and the left side of your brain controls the right side of your body, right? Well, when you sever the connection between those two sides of the brain, the two sides of the body can end up acting independently. For example, they're able to draw a picture with their right and left hand simultaneously.
Well, that's a neat little party trick.
We can experimentally reproduce a wide range of more interesting behaviors with many split-brain patients. The first experiment conducted by Sperry and Gazzaniga had a simple premise. The patient would sit in front of two lights, one of which could be viewed by the right eye, the other by the left. The lights would each randomly flash. When asked which lights flashed, the patient would only say the light on the right flashed, despite the fact that both lights flashed.
So they couldn't see the light flash on the left?
Well, this is where it gets interesting. When asked to point at the lights that flash, they correctly managed to point at both.
Wait, so they could see it?
Yes, but when asked, they still said they only saw the flash on the right.
Why is that?
It's because the center for speech in the brain is usually located in the left hemisphere of the brain. So when asked to verbally respond, only that hemisphere was capable of doing so. That hemisphere of the brain can only see the light on the right. Since the connection between the two hemispheres was severed, the right hemisphere couldn't communicate what it saw to the left hemisphere. However, when asked to point, each side of the brain has access to one arm, so the right side was able to control the left arm to point when the light flashed.
Screw with me a little bit.
So, it seems like there could be two independent minds inside the skull that independently perceive and act.
But how come the patients report everything being the same? Wouldn't the left side of the brain realize that it's not receiving any information from the right side?
That's a good question. In another experiment, the researchers showed two different images of the two different hemispheres of a split-brain patient. The left hemisphere saw a picture of a chicken's claw. The right hemisphere saw a picture of a snowy scene. The experimenters then showed a large selection of pictures and asked the patient to select the most relevant one from the scene. The patient's right hand pointed to a chicken because of the chicken claw, and the patient's left hand pointed to a shovel because of the snow. When the patient was asked why he pointed at the chicken, the patient said it was because he saw a picture of a chicken. This makes sense because his left hemisphere, which is responsible for speech, saw the picture of the chicken. here's what gets interesting. When asked why his other hand was pointing at the shovel, the patient, without hesitation, said, "You need a shovel to clean out the chicken."
Shit.
Now, the patient wasn't intentionally lying.
Wait.
The left hemisphere of his brain legitimately believes that's why he pointed at that object. His brain just kind of made up the reason on the spot. We call this confabulation.
So why did he confabulate?
Okay, I didn't get it enough. Damn it. Every time I would get close to like doing something, it would do that beep thing, and then it would stop me, and then something else would change. It was like it's cool because of the fact that it does it. I'm sure that does like a big change, but good God, that was like it just kept on and kept on and kept on. Oh, well, I'm gonna go ahead and leave this right here. Let me know down in the comments if you want me to play some more. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course hit that bell icon to be notified for any new videos that pop up. And of course, you have yourself a wonderful day and be safe. Bye-bye.